So hello guys, welcome to today's video. So if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to this channel for new video every week. So today we are going to create this beautiful website here in Django using Django framework. So this is an imaginary coffee shop we created here using Django. So we have our nav bar nicely here. We have the search where you can search. Then we have all this coffee. You can add to cart. You have the price $8.99. You have black coffee. You have the Turkish coffee. So you have the mocha, cold brew, espresso, all this here. So we are going to create all this from scratch. So another thing is you can also go to the admin. So let's copy this. Control copy. Or let's just access it on the same. So you can just type admin. So you have the admin panel for here where you can manage all the coffees you have here. So you have the list of coffee in our system. You have espresso, cold brew, mocha, Turkish coffee, black coffee. You have all this. If you want to manage this, you can just click on this. You can change the name, the price, or you can change the images. So we are going to do all this using Django framework, and we are connecting all this to a database as well. So all these values you are seeing here, we've stored them in a database and we are displaying them in our home page. And this website is responsive as well. So let's get back. So this is responsive as well. So you can click on inspect. So you can view this on all. So you can view this from, let's say, 5 pixel 5. So you can see the menu bar here, the nav bar nicely. You can see this. Then we can choose iPad as well. So you can see this is responsive on all devices here. So we are going to create all this from scratch. So if you are new here, kindly subscribe. Let's get into this video. So I'm on my desktop here right now. So my desktop, let's open command prompt and make sure we have Django installed first before we move on. So to check, let's use the pip install Django, and you need data connection as well to install the Django. If you have it already, no need to do this. But if you don't have it, you install it using pip install Django. But you can try it as well to make sure you have it installed in your system before you move on. So as you can see, you can see requirement already satisfied. So which means I have Django already installed in my system. So let's clear, and right now let's move to our desktop. So cd desktop, because you want to create a folder on our desktop and create our website inside. So cd desktop. So right now I'm inside my desktop right now. So on our desktop, let's create a folder using make directory, which is mkdir, make directory. So the name of our folder, let's name it coffee shop. So as you can see, we have a newly created coffee shop folder here, which is empty. And another way you can even create, you can just come on your desktop and just right click and you go to new, then you create your new folder. So right now we created using the command prompt already. So right now let's enter into our folder we just created, which is cd coffee shop. So we are inside our folder as well. So let's create our first project. And how do we do that? Since we have Django installed, Django comes with the admin class. So we are going to use the admin function to install our project. So we use django-admin start project. So no space, is two word. So django-admin start project, then the name of our project. So let's name it coffee shop, or in lowercase, because we already have a coffee, and the name of our folder is coffee shop, which we use uppercase. So let's use lowercase so that there won't be repetition of our folder. So space and bring period, which is the dot here. So what this period means, current folder. So which means we want to install this in our current folder. Reason why it's necessary to bring this space dot or the period here is because we don't want Django creating another folder inside this folder for. So right now let me just remove the period and see and show you what happens. So if I click enter, now let's open our folder. Now after you open our folder, there's another folder created in it again. So you have to open this folder before you see your project here, which is not what we want. We don't want to open our folder. So let's go ahead. You open your folder. There's a folder inside again. You have to open it again before you see your project. This is your project. It contains the init, the settings, the URLs and stuff. So we don't want that. So that's the reason why it is necessary to bring the period. So let's delete it. So as you can see now, our folder is empty. So let's do it once again with using a period. So our folder is empty right now. So let's get back to the command prompt. So click on the up arrow key, and now so Django admin start project coffee shop. So space dot, which is the period. So now let's click enter. So now let's open our folder again. So now you see, now that we open our folder, we have the coffee shop, the project here, and the manage.py. Initially, when we open this folder, there's another folder, which is the coffee shop. You have to open it before you see the project. But right now, the moment you open the folder, you have your coffee shop and the manage. So that's what the period does. It tells Django that, look, install my project inside the current folder. Don't create another. So Django assume you are not having a folder created, so it's creating a folder before installing the project in it. So this, you are telling Django that install the project inside my current folder. So that is what the period stands for. So let's open our project in the code editor. So I'm going to use Visual Studio Code. So code period, okay, to open my code editor for me. So our newly created project is now opened in our code editor. So we have our coffee shop project here, and we have the manage.py, which help us to run our project on a development server. So we have the init.py, which shows that this is the package. So it means we can import this module in another module. We have the ASGI, we have the settings.py, we have the URLs, we have the WSGI, we have. So these are coffee shop. So before we move on, let's go to our terminal, and I'm here on my new terminal, and we want to run our project on a development server. So how do we do that? We do that by typing python manage.py run server. So like I said, this manage.py helps us to run our project on the development server. So Django's command line utility for administrative tasks. So run administrative tasks. So this run your project on the development server for you. So reason why we just type the Python, then we type the name of the file, which is the manage.py, then run server. The server is not complete. Okay, Python manage.py run server. So let's click on enter. So as you can see, Django version 4.0.3, which is the current version of my Django using right now. Using settings, coffee shop settings, starting development server at this port. So let's copy this port, or let's copy this port, or you can follow the link if you are using the Visual Studio Code. Copy the port and paste it inside our web browser. So it opens a default page that comes with Django. So if you look at the top here, the Windows tab here, say the install worked successfully. Then we have this nice interface that comes with Django. So the install worked successfully here. So the next thing you are going to do is you are going to change this interface and use our own interface there. So let's come back to our Visual Studio Code here. So let's end the development server for now. So Control C, then we end the development server. So here let's create our app. So one thing about Django is it comes with a design. Django is I like the one thing about Django is how it comes with the folders arranged on its own. You don't have to start everything from scratch. So this is your project. So what it means that you can have as many apps as possible in the project folder or in a project, and in the near future as well, you can also use the project for another app. So right now we have our project which is named coffee shop here. So let's create our app inside this project. So here on our terminal, let's type Django, that's Python manage.py start app. So no space, is two words combined. Start app, then the name of our app. So let's name our app coffee. Let's name it coffee by here. Okay, so click enter. So as you can see, our newly created app here, we have a newly created app here, coffee. So inside this app we have this migration which will come to it in the future. We have the init.py which shows that this is the module. You can import it in another module. We have the admin.py for running the administrative of this app. You have the apps.py where your apps are installed. You have the modules. So we are going to get through all this as we continue in this video. So right now let's open our views.py which is inside our newly created app here. So in our views.py, let's clean this because we don't need it now. So let's define home. So define home request. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a request in function. So what this request will do, it will send HTTP response to our browser. So first let's come here and import HTTP response. So we say from Django, from Django.http import http response. So now let's come back to our definition. Yeah, so come down here. So return http. So the http response is a class that we've imported, which is in the Django module. So we are saying return the http response which we imported. So this will send a http response request to our browser that okay, we have app or we have website created on this http response. So the browser picks it and displays it to the user or the viewer. So return http response, then request IAM. So now what the new thing we remove is okay, sorry, I think here's supposed to be request. So inside here, let's bring a double quote and bring our h1 tag because we want to display this. We want to display a text on our home page or the page that we are creating now. So let's bring our h1 tag. Yeah. So let's type something like home page. So this is h1 tags that this comes inside HTML. So if you are familiar with HTML, you may come across this h1 tag, which is a header for displaying header. So now that we've defined our HTML response, let's go inside our app folder. Yeah, right click on it. Let's go to new file and create a new file, which is urls. It's necessary you type the same thing. This is a default name that Django recognizes. So urls.py. So inside our URLs folder we created, let's import. So let's say from django.urls import path. Right. So let's come here and create a URL pattern. So there should be no space. So URL then patterns supposed to be one word combine the URL and the patterns. It's very necessary because it's a default thing that Django recognizes. So the name must be in the same convention. So let's create a list right here. So we open it, and inside that list, let's create our first path for our home URL, which we define inside our home HTTP response request, which we created here. So we are creating a URL for this request. So anytime the Django send request to the web browser, it will to display the request to our path that we are creating here for the user to be able to see it. So path, let's open our parentheses right here. So views dot home. And where is the home? The home is the request that we define here. So we must import the home here. So we must import. How do you import the home? I need to import the views module. So from period, the period which means current folder. So import home. Sorry, import views. We need to import the views, not the home. So from period import views right here. So let's close this folder here. We are done with them. So now let's go into the default URLs that comes with the Django project. So okay, inside our Django app, we created a new URL for our app. So after we've created a new URLs for our app, now let's go to the Django project and tell the Django project that okay, we have a URL in our application. So we need to make Django aware of the URL. So inside our Django, we have another URL patterns here, and this is a part that is here. So what this part is a URL for a beautiful default admin panel that comes with Django. So we are going to get into that or yet. So let's create a new part, or let's tell Django about our new part we just created in our app. So let's type part open parenthesis. So we want to name our part coffee. Yeah. So we bring our comma here and we type include. So what this include means, we want to include our coffee .urls. Yeah. So what is our coffee.urls? Our coffee is our new app that we created here. Our new app we created. And inside our new app, we created a URLs file there. So we are including that URLs file or URLs module inside our path here, which is the coffee. So it means anytime you access this coffee part, so we are going to this coffee part is going to display these URLs that you created inside the app here. So let's first, okay, right here we need to import the include as well. So comma include. Okay, so now we are done. So now let's go to our development server and run python manage.py run server once again. So okay, now let's go to our server. So we are going to okay, you can see that this is a home page that comes with the Django. So to inside our URLs, we said we want to access this new URLs we created at this port, which is coffee slash. So it means if you go to our server, we need to bring slash coffee. So as you can see, we just access our URLs now. So this is the HTML tag that I was talking about. So let's go to our views here. So you see we created an HTTP request with this h1 tag home page, and we link this, or we map this request that we've created here to the URLs here using the URL patterns. We map them here, and we came into the URLs inside our Django project. We are telling Django that look, access the HTTP response we created inside the views.py and map it to the URLs that we've created and display it on this path, which is the coffee slash. So it means if you go to our home page, so our home page is the port, which is the local server 127.8,000. That's the home page, the default home page that comes with Django. So to access the newly created URLs, you bring coffee slash. So okay, what if we remove this coffee? We make it empty. Let's go there again, refresh this. Now page not found because the HTTP request is sent to the home page, not this slash coffee. So to access that, we need to clean this and come to the without the port, then we can access it here. So it means empty string. So it means that we are accessing the path, default path that comes with the Django. So let's type our coffee slash path again. So we can go there, refresh this, page not found again. That's because the HTTP request was sent to the path and the path was not located there. So the path rather was located here, which is the coffee. So you click enter, page not found. I think there is a problem. Let's go there and see. Okay, coffee. Is the spelling wrong? Oh. Okay, let's try and stop the server and run it again. Sometimes it happens. So let's run our server again. Button manage.py. Okay, so let's go back to our server and refresh it. Okay, so now the error has been solved now. So we just have to stop the server and run it again. So now we have our home page displayed on the path that we just created. So now the next thing we are going to create now is we want to create our database. So one thing about Django is that it comes with this module folder here. So let's close this. We don't need this anymore. Let's open only the modules.py inside our app folder. So one thing about Django is you don't have to create your databases inside. Like you go to your database and have to create them there. You just have to create your modules and the modules will automatically create your database for you nicely. So inside our modules, we want to create our database here. So okay, so let's define class. So class coffee. So we want to call our database coffee. So we open this, then we import the module class from the module here, because this is what is going to help us create. This is going to automatically create our database for us. So come right here, come down here. So we are going to create database. I'm going to create the name. So name into modules.char field, which means character field. So modules.character field. We want to give it a maximum length of maximum length of 255. So name modules dot character field, which is the char field, the maximum length 255 characters. So it means we are going to store characters about 255 maximum length inside the name module. So let's create another. We create the price. It's going to be the price of our coffee. So price, once again, we create the modules dot. So let's call it fruit field because it's going to contain numbers. So fruit field, right? Then we create our quantity. You can create, or you can say quantity stock, or you can say stock. Let's say stock. Well, let's go with the quantity. I mean, like it's more like the stock, like the amount, the stock of product you have in your coffee shop. So let's say you have a black coffee, and maybe you have like 100 black coffee in stock. So that's what it basically means. So let's use the quantity, like quantity of coffee in stock you have in your shop. So quantity will be okay. So quantity, go to modules dot integer field. So integer field. Okay. So let's create our image as well. So where we are going to add the image of our coffee. So module your character field. So right now we want to use like URLs for our image. So in the near future we are going to learn how to create a blob field because database accepts image in form of blob, something called blob. So in the near future we are going to learn how to create a blob field inside our database where we can access image from our local desktop into the database. But for now, to make it very easy for this course, let's use we will just copy an image URL from the web and add it there, and it will automatically display it on our site for us. So we want to call maximum length of the URL should be 2083, which is the standard maximum length of URLs or image URLs or image address, sorry. So modules the character field, then we are giving a maximum length. I think the maximum length is wrong. This one too. Maximum length of 2083 characters. Right. So now that we've created our module,
So if you look at the left, on your left side right here, you see a file called db.sqlite3. So let's open settings, then scroll down, you are going to see something like databases, default database. So base directory db.sqlite3. So Django comes with a default database which is db.sqlite3. So the default database was SQLite3. So Django was already linked to SQLite3 database. So you can always change it. If you want to use MySQL, you can change it and link into it. If you want to use MongoDB, whichever SQL you want to, whichever database you want to use, you can always change it here and link it to it. But Django comes with a default database which is the SQLite3. So for now, we are going to use the SQLite3. Maybe in the near future, we are going to learn how to link this to MySQL database and other databases. So for now, we are going to focus on this SQLite3 database to create our modules. So this DB SQLite3, to view this SQLite3, I want to download some application which it will help us view this database, which is DB browser. So DB browser will help us to browse this database and see what is going on in it.
DB browser, I just go to your web browser, then type DB. So DB browser for SQLite. So you just click on the first site that appear, http SQLite browser for org.org. So you just open it. So right here you click on download, So on Windows, so you can see on Windows you have here, it's also available for Mac as well. But I'm using Windows, so just download the DB browser for SQLite standard installer. If your if your PC is 64, use the 64. You also have another standard installer for 32-bit. So if your this thing is 32-bit, you will download this. If it's 64, you download the SQLite standard installer, then you install it. So that's what you are going to use to view our database. So after downloading your DB browser, just open it, and when you open it, this is how the interface looks like. So you want to, at the top right here, you want to click on open database. So we'll navigate to where our database is located. So in this video I created a folder on desktop, so I will go to desktop, and the folder is called coffee shop. So I open the coffee shop, and you can see right here we have the db.sqlite3 database here. So you click on it and click open, or you can double click on it. So you can see that our database is empty, but that's because we've not created anything inside it yet. So to create database inside it, you need to run. So let's come to our terminal and run python manage.py make migration, and make migration is also one word, don't space them. So make migrations. So let's click on enter. So as you can see, Python says no changes detected. And why is no changes detected? That because we've not connected this app to our settings module yet. So inside our settings module, let's come under here. You can see something here like list of or installed apps. These are the list of installed apps on our Django project. So we have django.contrib.admin, we have the django.authentication part. So these are all parts that comes with Django. It's a default Django part that comes with it. So we are going to get into that as well. So now we are going to install our new app here. So right here, let's go into our apps folder inside our app that we created there. So open the apps.py. You can see here from django.apps import app configuration. So this is the configuration for our application. So you can see that before we started this Django, we ran a function which is python manage.py start app using this coffee name. So you realize that the name of our app is supposed to be coffee name. As you can see, a name is supposed to be coffee name. It's supposed to be coffee. So the coffee is supposed to be the name of our app. But here we are seeing coffee config. So it means this is the configuration of our coffee app here. So we have a class defined here, and we have the app configuration class which was imported here, and a coffee configuration which our name was inserted in it. So instead of coffee being the name of our app, we are going to use the coffee configuration here. So let's come into our settings once again here. So inside the list of installed app, let's come down, bring our quote here. So the name of our app is going to be coffee. So this is the path which means it's located in coffee.apps. So it means coffee. So it means inside our coffee folder, the app file here, that's where it is located. So what's the name of our app there, which is the coffee config. Coffee config there. So we bring our comma here. So this is the coffee config, which is the name of our app now. So we just have to, so it means we've installed our coffee application we've created inside the coffee shop project. So that's what it means. We've installed our coffee app in our coffee project. So now let's come back to the terminal here and run the same thing again. Python manage.py make migrations. So now you can see migrations for coffee. So coffee migrations with this 001 initial.py. So it means now we can create our database now. So we run python manage.py migrate. Python manage.py migrate. So click on enter. So as you can see, it has created our database. So let's go back into our DB browser and browse and refresh the table, or else you can browse it again. So as you can see now, there are now 12 tables created in our database. So inside our 12 table here, we have our database, which is the coffee this is the coffee database we've created here. So we have our ID, we have our name, we have price, quantity, image. So realize that this ID, we didn't created this ID. So let's come back here. Inside our modules, realize that we didn't create this ID in our database. So one thing about database is it comes with ID. When you don't create the ID, to add the ID for you as default, because it's assumed that every database must have a unique number, which is the ID, to identify your files in the database. So it automatically created ID part for us. So that's why we have the ID there. So we can also see these tables created, the auth group permissions, auth permissions. So once again, these are tables that are used to manage the admin panel. So we'll get into the admin panel, then you understand why all these database is created. So these are default database that comes with Django. So Django created this database for us automatically. And one of the as I was talking about Django here, one of the things I like about Django is you don't have to go to the database and create your own database. You just have to type your module, then it uses the module to create a database for us. So as you can see, we didn't have to create all these things here. Django just created all of them for us nicely right here. So let's go into our coffee app here, and you see a folder here called migration. Now I open the migration here. Let's open this 001 initial.py here. So inside here you have class migration, and we have the initial set to true here. We have operations here, migrations dot create module. So this was the migration that we will make migrations. So this is what the migration did. The migration creates a module for us, name coffee. The module was named coffee with the fields, the ID. So as I told you, the Django automatically added ID to our database here. So this is the ID inside here. We have the name field that we created with the maximum length of 255. We have the price, we have the modules field, we have the quantity and the image. So as like we didn't have to create all this. Django automatically created this with the migration. We just have to run the migrations and the migrate, and it will create all this for us. So imagine you can have about seven numbers of database fields you want to add. It will create all of them for you. So that's one of the interesting things I like about the Django. So now let's come back to our database. Now that we create our database now, let's come back to our terminal here and run our development server again, which is python manage.py run server. Click on enter here. So now we are going to look at our admin panel. So to access the admin panel, we are going to use this URL. Now the coffee, these are development, these are local server. Our local server / coffee gives us our home page, and /admin give us our admin panel. So you can see the moment I type /admin, it displays this nice login form here. So why is this displaying? Remember I talked about, where are you? Okay, settings dot data. Okay, right here. Remember I talked about this part. We have this part that came automatically with Django here. So /admin. So admin site.urls here. So this is a beautiful Django admin panel that comes with Django. You don't have to create all these things, write all the code for all this. So that is the URL to this that we are seeing here. So to log into this, we need to create a super user account to be able to log into this. So we come to the terminal. Let's end the server here. Control C and run another function. So python manage manage.py create super user. Once again, you don't have to space it. There is one word. Create super user. Okay, so we need to type our username here. So I want to type my username. So you say leave blank to use Gideon, because I already have a super user created Gideon in another database, but I don't want to use it because I want to create a new one inside this new database. So just ignore it. Type your username. So my username is Donny. The username I'm going to use for this is going to be Donny. The email address is going to be Donny shift at gmail.com. So type enter. So you get access to enter our password here. So I'm entering my password. So again, okay, so this password is too short. It must contain at least 8 characters. Bypass password validation, create user anyway. So and then it's telling us that our password is too short. So but right now I want to click on yes and bypass it anyway. But in the near future, if you are creating an app, you need to make sure you use password that is very strong enough for your admin panel. But right now, for simplicity, let's just use this short password that I just use here. So I click on yes. So super user created successfully. So now let's run our development server again. Python manage.py run server. And let's come back to our server. So refresh it. So now the super user we've created, we are going to use it now to log in into our admin panel. So my username was done, and you are going to type your password that you created. So login. So now we have this beautiful admin panel that comes with Django here. So we have the user part, and we are inside the user. We have the new account that I just added here. This is a donny@gmail.com. We have our first name, last name, the status here, and we also have search here. So Django added this panel for you default. So you can just close this here. You can open it here. So you don't have to create all this. You don't have to write code to create all this from scratch. Django created this. So this you have welcome done in view site, change password. You can log out here as well. You can also add user here as well. So this comes with Django automatically. Nice. You don't have to create all this from scratch. Yeah. So if you come back to our code, inside our settings.py, yeah, we have list of installed app aside our newly installed app here. We have list of installed apps here, which is the contribute and this is the auth, the content type, session messages, this is the static files. So these are all these things you are seeing here, all these installed app you are seeing here are responsible for all these things that is appearing. This nice interface you are seeing here, that is what is responsible for it. So this comes with Django automatically. We didn't create this here. So if you look at this, you realize that we installed an app called Coffee. So it didn't appear here. So we need to register the Coffee into this admin panel here so that we can be able to manage it here. So we want to go inside our, so let's close this. We don't need them. We are done with them right now. So let's close all this. So let's go into our Coffee app module and open the admin panel here. So you have your register your modules here. So remember we've inside our module we created a database there. We've created a module there, and that module showed us displayed our database for us there. So that the module created a database for us automatically. So that module that we created, we are going to register it here. So when we register it, it means you are going to have access to it there inside our admin panel and manage it there. So right here, let's come down. Let's clean this because we don't need it. So let's type admin dot site dot register. We open parentheses. So we have our coffee here. So we have our coffee. So this comes with capital C here as well. So coffee is not defined. So okay, let's import our coffee module here. So from period, once again, period stands for like our current folder. So it means our current folder modules. You are importing shift coffee. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to our admin panel here and refresh it. So as you can see now, our coffee app is now available here. Initially, this was not here. That's because we've not registered the coffee module we've created inside our admin database. So this admin database came, or this admin panel came automatically with Django. So instead of us creating all this admin panel, it means like we're supposed to write, maybe use HTML and CSS to create this here and do all this here. But Django brought this for us automatically. So we need to register our this the new module we've created inside the module that came with, or inside the panel that came with the Django. So that is why here you can see right here we have admin site the register the coffee. Then we have our coffee displayed here. So now let's click on this coffee panel here. So now let's try and add some files inside our database. So I click on this. Once again, you see this nice form. So all this came automatically with Django. You don't have to create all this. So that's one of the beauty about Django here. So let's create some coffee. So maybe let's say we are going to create a coffee called cappuccino. Cappuccino is like a type of coffee. We want to give it a price of we want to give a price of 8.99. Maybe it costs 8.99. Maybe quantity in stock. We have 800 in stock. Maybe let's say 800 is too much. Let's say 100. Let's say 100 right here. So in our image field, we are going to get an image link address and paste it here. So right now on my browser, you want to search for coffee, you go to images, then you go to filter. So filter, under filter you go to license. If you are using Chrome, you go to tools, then you go to write. So I'm going to choose free to share and use to avoid any copyright issues. So you can also go to another place. You can also get free images is on splash.com. So on splash.com right here, you search for coffee. There are a whole lot of free images here as well that you can also, you just have to copy the link address and paste it. So right now I'm on my browser. So these are couples of images here. So I want to let's click on this. So once again, when we come to our database, we may want to upload our own image from our local browser. But in the near future, we are going to learn how to upload our own image from our local browser. We need to create a blob like, let's say a blob in our database. So what blob does is the field that accepts image in the database. So we'll learn how to create a field for adding our own image. So for now, for simplicity, let's copy the link of this. So let's copy image link, or copy link address, image link address as well. So I want to save. So we've just saved one coffee bar. Right now it says coffee object 1. So we want to see what exactly we've added. We want to see the fields. So let's go back to our code and let's go to our let's go to the admin. Okay, we are in the admin panel here. So what we want to do is we want to create a class. So at the top here, create a class called coffee admin. coffee admin, then open parenthesis. So admin dot, so let's say module admin. I think the spelling of admin is wrong. Okay, so here we just name the class called coffee admin, then we imported the module admin right here. So under here, okay, so enter, and let's say list display. So we want to open parenthesis. So we want to display our name and price. And to display the quantity as well. Quantity. So for the image, I think we are pasting the link there, so the link may be too long. So let's leave the image for now. So let's just display these three: the name, price, and quantity. So let's go back to our web page and refresh it. Okay, I think there's something wrong. So let's see. That okay, I think we've missed. We're supposed to add the coffee admin into our URL here, our registration URL here. So let's go back. Okay, I think we need to stop our development server and run it again. So right here, Control C, and run that server again. Okay, so let's refresh. Okay, so as you can see now, instead of object, it has displayed the fields for us. We can now see the name of our coffee. We can now see the price and the quantity. Yeah, and here it says we have one coffee in the list. So let's go to our database and see. So let's open database again. So desktop, coffee shop, we browse it. So inside our database, let's right click and browse table. So now we can see our data which was added inside. We have the ID which was automatically added here. This is the name, these are prices, our quantity, and this is the image link that we just pasted in our database. So it means whatever we added, the database is working perfectly. So let's go ahead and add more data into the database. So now let's add, let's say, black coffee. Let's say price is 9.76. Say quantity is 78. Once again, let's come here. Let's select another image and copy. Because I'm using Microsoft Bing, but if you are using Chrome, you may see something like copy link address or copy image link. Both of them works perfectly. So if you don't see copy image link, then it's supposed to be copy image address or copy link address. So I'll paste it here, then save. So let's add another. So let's say this. Okay, let's say this is Turkish coffee. Let's say this is 5.89. Quantity, let's say 90. Let's get back. So let's copy this image link as well. So we get back here, paste it here as well, and save. So right now we are having 3 coffees added into our coffee database here. So let's add a few more. So we also have mocha. Price is, let's say, 4.99, and quantity, let's say 59. Once again, so let's look for another nice image. Okay, let's copy this, copy image link, then here paste, save. So as you can see, this admin panel here, which comes with Django, you don't have to create all this from scratch. This comes free for you to use. Then we have we have code blue, let's say 8.99, quantity 600, then image link. So what image do you need again? Okay, more image basically. Okay, let's go for more images. Yeah, okay, I think this is okay. Let's go down. Yeah, I like this here, so let's click on it. So also copy image link. We are back here, we paste it here, so save. So let's add one more. Now we have 5 coffees added in our database now. So let's say this is espresso coffee. Let's say price is 6.65. Quantity, let's say 987 or 98. Let's come back here as well. Yeah, let's get this, or probably this. I think this is okay. So let's copy link. I think I like this better. Doesn't matter. Let's just get this. Where are you? So let's just copy image link. So save as well. Okay, so now we have 6 coffees added in our coffee database. So we can go back to our DB browser and refresh it. So here we have the list of our coffees added. You have the black coffee, cappuccino, the Turkish, you have the mocha, cold brew, espresso. These are the prices. So database is working perfectly fine now. So the next thing we want to do is, now that we have our coffee displayed in our database, now let's assume this is the admin panel for maybe managing. Let's say this is your coffee shop. This is your admin panel where you can add your coffees, and maybe you can also edit them here as well. You can also delete them and stuff. So your customers you may not want to direct your customers to this page because this page is perfectly for admin. So we have to create a page where the customers will go. So let's go back to our code here. So here we want to create an HTML page here. So let's come to our app folder and create a new folder called templates. So it's very necessary, right? We create the name of our folder. Is necessary that we write templates because that's the name Django will be looking for our templates. So we have our template folder. So inside our template folder, okay, right, inside our template folder, right click and let's create a new file. So let's say home.html. Let's create another template. Let's say base.html, right? So let's create an h1 tag named, so let's say feel good coffee. So before this HTML page works, we need to render an HTTP response to this. So let's go back to our views.py. So inside our views.py here, let's import. So right here, let's say from Django. No, we need to import, from period modules. So import coffee. So from our modules which we created, we are importing coffee. So right inside our modules, we created a class called coffee. So we are importing that here. So right here, let's count down right here. And let's define a variable called coffee with a small, so lower package. So let's say coffee dot object. So we are going to display all the objects on our page. So that's what I mean, objects dot all. So if we go right back into our home page, So let's go to home. So under at the right side, you see we have coffee object 6, coffee object 5. So this is object 1, which is our coffee number 1, object 2, object 3 up to object 6. So these are the six coffee that we've added into the database. So we are going to display all information of this on our home page or on our web page or on our template, anyhow you call it, for our users to see or our clients to see whenever they visit our site. So that's what it means. So right here, coffee, and we define it and we insert the objects. So we display all. So we don't need this now again. We want to return render. So on the top here, we say from django.shortcut import render. So we are returning the render class we just imported. So we want to send a request to our template, which is the home.html. Right. So let's also create another dictionary function here. We are going to use it sooner. So open the curly braces. So let's create dictionary coffee. Let's store a variable coffee. Yep. Alright. So okay, so now let's test our web page now and see, because when I want to return render, I want to send request to our home.html. So let's see if, so right here, let's test and see if we can see this h1 tag on our home page. So let's go back to our home page. So where's our home page? Our home page is /coffee. So here we go. So now we have our h1 tag showing on our template now, feel good coffee. So let's get back here. So we want to do some few things here. So let's come under here. So let's create a URL tag, which means on ordered list. On ordered list inside. So we want to create some list. So let's go on top here. Let's open a curly braces with a percent sign. So this means template tag in Django. So we want to render, or we want to use this for our for loop. We want to create a for loop that will repeat, will be responsible for repetition. So inside here, I want to say for coffee and coffee. So for coffee and coffee, they want to come down here. So let's indent this inside using the tab key on Windows. So inside here, I want to open another curly braces. I want to open double. So we close it as well with another double curly braces. So we say coffee dot name. So remember, inside our views here, we stored a dictionary here called coffee. So that's reason why we are able to access this. So for coffee in coffee dot name, reason why we are able to access this here is because we've installed it inside the view. We've installed it inside our rendering request for the home.html. So it means we are going to be able to access this inside our home.html template. So the reason why we are able to access it here, the variable name coffee here. So down here, let's end the for loop here. So we want to open the template tag again, and inside you say end, so end for, right? So let's go back to our web browser and refresh this. As you can see, now we have the names of all the coffees we've installed in our database displayed here, because we come to our code, because we say for coffee in coffee, display coffee.name in a list form. So for coffee in coffee, display coffee.name in the list form. So you are displaying the names of all coffees in the list form. So the reason why you are seeing all this coffee in displays in an unordered list form. So let's display the prices as well attached to them. So we can get back here. So beside here, let's open a bracket, bring a $sign right here. So we want to open another double curly braces. So here we're going to be coffee. So coffee dot price. I want to close it with another double curly braces. So let's also get back and see. Alright, so now you can see the prices of all the coffees installed in the database also displayed right beside this. So we want to display this on the website using cards. We don't want to display this for our users. It looks like very horrible. We want to display this in a very good way. So first, let's go back to our code editor here. So first, we want to let's create a home.html page that we are going to use to inside our base.html. Let's create a starter template that will render, that we can extend inside our home.html here. So it means what we are going to be doing all our HTML stuff. We don't have to do everything here to make the code messy sometimes. So let's come inside our base.html here. So let's go to Bootstrap, get bootstrap.com. So at getbootstrap.com, under this, click on documentation. Getbootstrap.com, click on documentation. Then you scroll down, right down. So you see something here called starter template. So starter template, want to come right at the top here and click copy. So let's get back to our base.html page and paste this. So this is a starter HTML template. If you are used to HTML, you know all this meta tags, this is the doc type. With all this, we have the rule, we have the style sheet here. So inside this, so let's change this title to, let's say, coffee shop. Coffee shop. So we want to come back inside our home.html. So at the top, click enter, then we come right here. So let's open another template tag here with the percent sign inside. So in the inside, let's say extends. So it means this template extends base.html. This template extends the template base.html here. So let's come down here. So we want to open another template tag. Yeah, okay. With a 2% sign inside. We want to create a block for the base.html here. So we want to create a block by, let's say, block content. Block content here. So we want to end. So let's copy this, and at this, let's come down here and paste. So this is going to be end block. So end block, the space right here. Right, so let's come back to our HTML here as well. So we don't need this h1 tag for now. So let's just clean it. So inside here as well, we want to open another template tag here. So inside this template tag, we also want to type block content, then come down. Also, so here is going to be end block content as well. So end. So it's very necessary that you do all this. So end block, then block content. So we want to put this inside a container. But let's leave it for now. Let's leave it for now. So beside this still, okay, let's go to our home page and see what we got here. So let's refresh our page. I am okay. So you can see now our feel good coffee has changed. You can see the list has also changed. It look a little bit nicer. The font, there is some space in it as well. So this is because we've rendered our base.html inside this page, and inside our base.html we have some style sheet, we have some Bootstrap style sheet here. So if you know Bootstrap, a popular framework for CSS, so the default CSS or the default design, or let's say maybe the default font style that was used for this Bootstrap that we just connected to our starter code here is what is reflecting inside our home.html template, which hence has changed the look of our feel good coffee and the look of the list that we just placed here. So let's get back here. So you may want to put all this in the card, display this in the card. So let's come to the bootstrap.com. So right at the left side here, let's scroll down till we see component, and at the same documentation. So click on component, and another component to click on card. So okay, this is an example of card here. So what you are going to do is you are going to display the images of our coffees here, and then maybe the name of the coffee or the price of the coffee under this, then some add to cart or order or whatever here. So we want to use this card. So that's one thing about Bootstrap. All these are made for us. You don't have to like code all this from scratch. So just copy this So let's get back into our code editor. So right at the top, here, under the feel good content here, let's come down here and create a div. So let's say div dot row, div with a class row. So div dot row, then okay, let's clear this a little. So let's come down here. So for coffee in, so let's clear this URL tag for now. We don't need it for now. So under this, let's come here as well. So we say let's create another div. So div dot, let's say okay, let's say column. Let's also enter this. Let's also clean these closing tags. We are going to add them below the code here. So right at the top, now we can paste our card. So let's take this a little bit down to separate the code so there will be no confusion here. So let's come here. Now let's paste our card that we just copied. So we have our class card, we have the style with 18 rem echo. So this is the card we just copied. So we are going to edit this and we are going to display all our coffee data inside. So let's clear this. So now under this card we want to, so for now let's clear all this, we don't need them for now. So let's clear this. So and leave only the end block. So we want to make sure all these tags are closed here. So we have an opening tag for the class row that we just created, which we deleted it. So under this right here, let's create an opening tag. Let's create an closing tag, sorry. For so this tag is for the tag that we just created here, the class row tag here. So at the card, what is the okay? So yes, inside the image source, we want to display our images, the links of our images we copied from the site. So we want to display it at where the image site. So there, let's open double curly braces. Then we type, let's say coffee dot image, and we close it with another double curly braces here. Another thing inside the card title too, we want to display the name of our coffee there. So we also open another double curly braces. So we say coffee dot name. So we also close it. It's also double curly braces. So right here at the card text here, let's clear this. Let's clear all the text. So delete. So inside this, bring your dollar sign, your dollar symbol. So inside this, you open another double curly braces here. So inside this we want to display our price of our product here. So coffee dot price. So we also proceed with a double curly braces. Then here we'll create, we'll say add to cart. Add to cart. So we want to indent. So now this is, let's scroll to the back right side. So this is our for loop right here. So we want to indent this, div inside. So right under the for loop. Okay, what is the div? Okay, I think it's this div. So let's indent. So using the tab key, I want to indent this. Also come right here and indent this inside as well. So now let's go to, okay, we miss our end for loop again. So let's go double curly braces. So double, okay, so double sign. So inside is, let's say end for. Well, so let's make sure everything is set. We don't want any error. So here we are displaying our price here, which is there. We are displaying the coffee name, coffee dot name, displaying the coffee image here. This is the coffee dot image here as well. Alright, so let's see what the result this will give us. So let's get back to our page here and refresh this. Okay, so you can see now there's a repetition of the cards that we place here, and these are the link of the images we just copied from the page here. So we have 6 coffee which we added. So this 1 2 3 4 5 6. So like I said, we may actually create a blog where we can upload all this image from our desktop. We don't have to use the internet. And for now we are using the image link. So these are the image links we copied into our database. So Django is sending the request to our render that we just returned. So that request it to access this link and show these images on your website for you. And I see place here. So now as you know that once you realize that we copied one card, link of one card, and we paste it here inside our project, but we are having 6 different cards here. Why? Because of reason why we have, let's get back. So this is reason why we use the for coffee and coffee here. So this is going to display a card for each. It's going to repeat or duplicate this card for each of the coffee names and the prices that appeared until it gets to the last one and display this. So it's going to repeat this for each of the coffee products that we just added there. So at the top here we want to add our navigation bar. So like I said, like Bootstrap, one thing about Bootstrap is there's everything there for you scratch. You don't have to write from, there's things you don't have to write all from scratch. It has been built for you. So right under here, let's type navs, the nav bar under the documentation of components. So I guess, okay, nav bar, not navs. So under the nav bar, let's get right here. So this is a beautiful nav bar which has been created already. You don't have to create all this from scratch. So we just copy this, we get back to our code. So let's go to the base.html. So we don't, if you look at this base.html, you can see a whole lot of HTML starter code. We don't want to be doing all that here to look a little bit messy. So the reason why we have to create our base.html and render all these templates inside our home.html. So under here, right under the body, let's click enter. So let's paste this nav bar that we just copied there. So let's get back to our database, sorry, our home page, yeah, and refresh it. So you can see that our nav bar beautifully displayed at the top here. So another thing is we want to leave some space between these space here. Between, you see this is shifted to the little right and shifted to the little at the top. So inside our template, let's put this block that we created, the block we created. So this is a block rendering the product that we created here in the home.html. So here, let's create a div.container. So container, it will render the CSS from Bootstrap for us. So it means all the CSS which was rendering for the class container is going to apply to this. It's going to add some paddings around it and put this in the middle. So we place the closing tag here. So let's get back to our page here and refresh. So you can see now it has added some padding to the left here, nicely placed on our page here. So we can have our coffee product nicely arranged on our page. So let's change this nav bar here as well. So let's get back and add our brand name. So right at the top here, the brand, let's add our own brand, which is coffee. So coffee shop. So when we get back here, refresh this. So now we have our brand added here, coffee shop. So it means this is our, so you can even go, so it means you can go to, or we can even create another home page. You don't have to close, navigate through this. So let's say copy this. Let's close this, we don't need it for now. So let's add another page. So let's paste this and make this our admin. So you can be viewing both of these pages simultaneously. So it means these are page. So this is what the users are going to see, and this is the interface where the admin is going to see. So let's say you want to change the price of this coffee, which is the cappuccino here. You can just go to admin. So that is coffee one. This is the coffee one here. So you just have to click coffee object one. So you have the menu here. You can change the name, or you can change the price. You can change the quantity in stock you have. You can change the image address. So once again, in the near future, instead of pasting, I have to go to Google and copy an image address, link address, and paste it. We are going to create our own. We are going to make it such a way that we can add our own image from our local browser. So in the near future, you are going to take a look at that. So you just have to edit, then you click save. Then you come here, you are going to see all the changes here as well. So we have, so let's check if this is responsive as well. So let's right click here, go to inspect. So we inspect, we have this. So you can change the device, so you can display this on maybe, let's say P05. As you can see, we have nicely responsive here. You can view all this here. You can also change device. So maybe, okay, let's say iPad mini. You can also have it nicely. So it means this is responsible on all devices. This is responsive on all devices as well. So what again? I think the best way to do this is to just use the closing tag. So we can just stretch this. So you can see this is very responsive. Responsive all the way down. We have our navigation. Yeah. So we've just created our first website and link it to a database with Django. So we have our admin panel set up here. So here you can just go to home. Yeah. So in the near future, we are going to be doing a lot. So right now the add card here is not working. Yeah. So in the near future, we are going to be able to create functions where we can add this to another list. Maybe we want to order these 2 coffee, you can just add them to another list. Maybe you just see their total price, maybe you want to order. So the near future, we are going to be doing all that. So right now we have our nice website, our first website created here. So before we go, let's do one more thing here. So let's just end our development server and run it again. So Control C, then we end it. You end it with Control C. Then we type python manage.py run server once again. So now system Django started at this server. So let's follow the link. So you realize that immediately you follow this link. So this is the home page that it's a default home page that comes with Django all the time. So realize that anytime we access this says the page not found. Why? Because our home page is not located here. So we are supposed to add, our page is located at coffee. We are supposed to add coffee before we access our home page. So this is because we created the app. So basically we know. So let's say the user is accessing this website and the site or Django links or directed the user to this URL. So you want to make this the home page. So immediately somebody is using your app and the person launches straight, the person sees the home page, the person won't have to type another slash to access another link again. Maybe the person may not know, okay, this is where your home page is. So let's get back to our code. So under the URLs, the parent URLs right here. So let's just remove this slash coffee. So it means this is empty string. So it means the person is going to access our page the moment anytime we just launch it. So let's go back there. So let's refresh it. So now you see our page displayed in our home page now. So now when you go to slash, coffee, the page is not there again. So it means that when the person, so let's end the development server again. So Control C, Control C, and run it once again. So let's follow the link. So it's not, so boom. So now for the first time we uploaded, we follow the link, just open this straightforward for us. We don't have to go to slash coffee before we can get this home page. So that's it for today. So thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe for more videos in the future. We have a lot coming for you here on this channel, so don't forget to subscribe. Thank you once again for watching this video.